What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on the Space Engineers Inspiration series. We are starting things off today with the CAD Ares class expedition carrier, I think? Yes, let's go with that. So this is an interesting ship. I should point out that I believe this episode is entirely a viewer submission. So that's pretty cool. I'm still trying to get through my backlog of submissions and whatnot from my Discord server and things, so keep that in mind. But yes, this is a carrier/expedition. Actually, in my opinion, after reading through the description of it, I would kind of peg it as an all-arounder, basically. It's designed for expeditions, so it's kind of got to be able to do a little bit of everything. It's got a few guns on it so that it can defend itself. It's got carrier slots for shuttles and mining craft, and rooms and spaces and things for crews and stuff to be on the ship for extended periods. So it's kind of one of those all-around versatile kind of exploratory type ships. As opposed to long-distance science vessel types that are also supposed to be for long voyages, but they have, like, no intent other than just science and exploration and investigation. So I really do like the exterior. I feel like the industrial kind of weathered and roughed kind of, not rough, but weathered functional, you know, that kind of like form that comes out of function type of thing look works really well for this ship. And it's something that I feel like a lot of people do without thinking about it, but when you actually intentionally want to do that specific look, then it can look a lot nicer, and I think this is one of those examples. I'm assuming that this was the intent anyway. Mainly because of all the little agreeable things. You've got like the interior pillars with lights on them on a tire that at a distance gives you this kind of antenna look. I really like the use of the radar, this dish. What is this actually? I've never used this one. Antenna dish. I've never actually built with that block myself. And although I don't believe it's functional, somebody can correct me in the comments or on my Discord. I don't remember if that's actually a functional block or if it's decorative. I want to say functional just because it's still coming up as antenna dish and stuff, so we'll go with that. But anyway, I do think it's really cool. Also, I definitely like the ease of entrance with this particular ship. Ooh, this is kind of cool. I do like these kind of designs where they're not particularly... Okay, so I found one of the things that, in my opinion, is probably my favorite when it comes to aesthetics in both designs and just, you know, design in general, like whether it's a character or not. It's designs that add cool, like add character to a ship or to a character if you're doing character drawings or whatever. But it's designs that basically add detail. They add something unique, but they either don't impede or they actually assist in function type of thing. For example, this doesn't really do anything. I know this is a long-winded way to make my point. I was just kind of explaining the thought process, but this doesn't really do anything. It doesn't add anything to the hangar or anything like that. But it adds a cool aesthetic design. It adds like a look of support. You know, like this is connected to that, where if you were using structural integrity, it would improve the strength of this platform and whatnot, and so on. But it also adds an opportunity for some cool lighting, because as the light comes through, you get these shadows and contrast lighting and things like that. So I like this kind of thing because it doesn't like become inconvenient. It doesn't become cumbersome to use if you're not interested in the design of things and you just want it to work. But at the same time, if you do like the looks of things, it's pretty cool, and it's subtle. It's something really little. It's not some big grandiose design that's going to take you like 10 years to get done. It's just a couple little ramp blocks. I can't talk today. that, you know, just add to the aesthetic. I think it's really cool. I'm trying to figure out, though, obviously there's like hangar doors in every direction, and I'm just gonna go out of my way to note that it was pasted in this way and the doors are open. I feel like that was done intentionally. But I believe this is actually the main door, because it's kind of the airlock off to the side. I also like the kind of soft lighting. There's a couple of spots like this right in here where it's a little dark, but it keeps it from being super harsh where you walk in and everything's just like washed out because the lights are too bright kind of thing. I think this is where we came in from the hangars. It is. So we got this here. That's very cool. I'm noticing this lone button over here, and I'm curious what it does. Hangar vents. Okay, this is for hangar doors. Okay, so I'm guessing all of these button panels probably control all the doors, and then these consoles have vent controls, would be my assumption. So we've got the reactor here, or a reactor, I should say. There could be more than one. So it's kind of a, looks like a reactor makeshift engineering room type of thing. Got windows here. This is interesting. There's lockers and stuff up here, but it doesn't actually go anywhere. So that seems purely for nuance or RP kind of thing, where it's like this is where you would go up to get your tools and whatnot. So that's kind of cool. I do like that too when builds use space that's there, and rather than just, you know, blocking it all up with armor blocks or something, actually do something with it. Even if it doesn't do anything, it just adds to the aesthetics. Now this is interesting. Let me double check before I make that claim. Okay, so I might be wrong. I think I'm wrong. I was gonna say that it looks like there's asymmetrical design, but no, that's the same on that side. So that's gonna be another port side airlock, if my memory serves. Okay. Trying to remember the wrong button. Actually, no, wrong point. Okay, so that goes back down over there. So we were here. I was trying to remember where we left off. No, maybe this, yeah, I'm guessing that goes up to the main bridge, so we're gonna go this way first, anyway. So this looks like the mess hall. I do like this. This is a nice idea of using glass panels to kind of close off or disconnect access to blocks so that you can't do anything with them, but you can still see them if you want to show that off. That's kind of a cool idea. I like that. There's a lot of subtlety, I think, in this build. So if I was pointing anything out in terms of design and stuff, I think it would be that, because there's a lot of builds that I've featured where something's really crazy and very elaborate, and it's like, whoa, that's really cool. At first glance, this seems like a very normal ship. It's like there's a lot of ships like this kind of design, but then little at a time, I keep seeing little tiny subtle things that I think add to its character to a fairly decent extent. One other example of that is the changing in, it looks like, color and textures, although that could be lighting. When you change the lighting, sometimes the colors and textures react differently. I mean, for example, this is probably all the same color, but it looks very blue. You know, bad example, but it's an example. I do like using the ice or frozen texture, whatever it's called, on the cryo chambers. I think that's a really cool touch. I honestly wish, this is a commentary to the devs, not the builder, but I honestly wish the frozen texture was more subtle. I think it would look a little bit better, or if there was more than one of them, like a Frozen 1, Frozen 2, something like that. But I do think it's a little overblown. This is kind of cool. This is kind of neat for a med bay room, although this is just my logic. This is just me thinking out loud. But for the sake So, okay, so this is the med bay, right? This is your med room. Now, there is a caveat that I'm going to add to this that I may be wrong. So this is your med room. And there's beds and exam rooms and all this stuff. So my initial thought, I didn't recognize that this was actually the med bay. I thought this was kind of the office space and that this was the med bay where the sick rooms were. And I was thinking it would probably be more beneficial for patient privacy to have the tint faced outward. But now I'm kind of looking at this, seeing the other bays and stuff, the other scanners and things, and this is probably a quarantine room, which in that case, usually you are under observation from the outside by medical staff and stuff. So then that makes sense. So I retract my observation or my comments of possibly needing to change this. I'm guessing this is for like maintenance, because I don't really see any consoles or anything for just the heck of it, so kind of figuring that's probably for maintenance. We're gonna go with that. I hope I'm right. I don't know if there was anything up here. I think that's just a second row. Okay, so also I really like the new window blocks, and I like how they've used a combination of the window vents type thing and the new actual glass windows. I think that's the actual... Yeah. Okay. So I do like that because it kind of combines that a little more protected, kind of like if it was too bright or if there was attacks going on, you could close the shutters, at least in theory. Obviously, you can't do it in the game. But still actually giving you a sealed, airtight, like, glass structure, which is cool. Also, like I mentioned before, I saw it a second ago on the wall here. The lighting's being really weird. But right there, you can see, again, using the extra slats that rather than just a beam of light coming through, you get some cool lighting effects that way. So that's also a neat little thing to do. This looks like the bathroom shower area. Alright. So we got a sealed locker there. And see, stuff like that. Again, you don't need this. Actually, I'm not even sure really that you need these. They're just kind of decorative storage. But having it sealed behind a door is kind of a cool effect. I definitely am getting a very industrial vibe from the inside, and I think that was on purpose, but using the interior blocks, interior walls for flooring, and the walls, as well as the window things, combined with this, like, gunmetal gray kind of thing. Really giving off kind of that industrial vibe, which is really cool. Kind of gives me an old school Alien vibe, like those ships. I forget the name of the main alien ship from the first movie, but and I know that a lot of the interior living space was like a lab white color and all that. I'm just saying that kind of old school 80s sci-fi, more industrial look, basically when they were building everything out of models and we couldn't just CGI and make cool, sleek things that made no sense. You actually had to use physical objects. I will give this build credit. There are ample bathrooms. I don't know how many crew is supposed to be on here, but there should be some place to use the bathroom on. Nice little briefing room. I like this. Usually we get CICs and stuff like that, which arguably are more functional, but I like the little meeting room thing here. It's kind of cool. Nice little briefing room. Okay. Now my guess is that this ladder, or stairway, rather, not really a ladder, is going to lead us up to the bridge area. And there is a second... Oh, and I like the little plant thing. That's a cool touch. It just works. Probably would help the crew, too, in all honesty. Alright, so... I'm going to say this is probably the equivalent of the CIC. We've got a programmable block, we've got kind of a hologram table, we've got a seat area around here. Yeah, I'm going to say for now that's probably the CIC, and then this is the bridge. I do like the little glass structures here. Again, we get cool lighting, natural lighting, and stuff like that. Makes it feel a little bit more open. Yeah, definitely bridge. Like the bridge, very cool. Very, very interesting way to hide a vent there. That's kind of cool. I like that. Alright, and I do like the recessed glass, where there's a little bit of an overhang, so it's kind of protected, it's not completely exposed. Like I said, all indication kind of points to a ship that's designed not necessarily to fight, but kind of to hold its own. Okay. We're going to test out the thrusters. It didn't look like there was any... I read the description that explained the bars and stuff, and it didn't look like there was any weapons that were non-turret based or anything. And this is actually a vanilla build. My next two picks, I believe, are slightly modded. They're not crazy modded, but this one was actually, I think, the only vanilla build. Also, these little brackets on the bottom. Again, kind of that form that adds to function kind of thing, or at least doesn't impede it idea. I like the little brackets. It's cool. Although they do have gun turrets on the bottom, so I'm not sure I would have put those there, because my instinct is to use those brackets as landing gears, but I digress. So anyway, it accelerates pretty decently. It maneuvers very well for a ship of this caliber or in size. Moves very nicely. Acceleration is pretty good as well. I don't see any Atmo thrusters that I can find, so I'm guessing this is predominantly space, because we only have forward hydrogens. I don't see verticals, so I'm guessing this was designed for space. But with that, we're going to wrap this one up. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so next up we have a Borg cube, or I hesitate to say the, because there's a bunch of Borg cubes on the workshop. Now, I actually believe at some point, I don't remember if I featured one or not. Actually, I probably featured more than one. But what intrigued me about this particular adaptation of the Borg cube... Wait, are the lights... Okay, so it's gotta be... That's gotta be a clipping issue thing with the lighting, because I was like, wait a minute. Unless it's tracking through sensors, but I don't... Anyway, so what I found interesting about this particular one is that a lot of Borg cubes don't do interiors. And this one actually had an interior, and I found that intriguing. So I wanted to check it out. Now, the other thing I want to point out... Wait, what is that? Oh, shield emitter. This is what I was talking about in the last build, is that this one is slightly modded. It's not too heavy. There's not like... I think there's only 3 or 4. Mainly to get the Borg sound effects and the... I forget what they're called, but essentially the pods that the Borg, air quotes, sleep in, if they sleep. Now, the other thing with this particular build is that there is no gravity. And it kind of makes sense in a way to me, although I do believe the show depicted them having gravity on a Borg cube. However, the mirrored design where, like, if you look up, you know, the floor is the ceiling and stuff like that, it kind of made sense in a way as to why that would be somewhat difficult to do. Also, it had to do it depending on the layout. I feel like I'm wearing night vision goggles. Walk around one... Oh, okay. So it's using the mag boots, basically. My favorite mechanic, by the way. Just love those mag boots. Actually, so now we're playing a Call of Duty game with our night vision goggles on, basically. Anyway, I thought that was funny. So I'm definitely gonna get lost in here. I'm already kind of noticing that. Just because it's designed in a strange layout, which again makes sense for the way the Borg do things, but in terms of what you expect from a typical ship, it's a little confusing. But yeah, I think that was what really fascinated me about this one, was the fact that it actually did an interior. I'm trying... Where's the main... I think I'm down a floor or something, and I didn't want to be, and now I don't know... Ah! Okay, so there are some spaces like this, I believe, unless this is the only one, where you can add your own components to the ship, whether it be a hangar or something like that. That was listed in the description. Where am I going? I know that I'm running in circles, but where was the stairs? I know there was stairs here a minute ago. I keep finding doors outside. There they are. Jeez. Alright. I'm fine. I'm not lost at all. I think this is back where we came from. Cargo bay. Okay. I'm just gonna start leaving doors open that I've seen already. That might be helpful. And, I mean, I could read signs if I noticed they were there. We got an engineering section, which this is cool. I mean, I know I always talk about, like, the room for the reactor should be green lights, but I feel like somebody took that idea a little too far. I'm not really sure what that is, but I like the whole hollow table thing, and the jump drive right here next to the, you know, kind of embedded in the floor and all that. That's kind of a cool touch. I like that. I was trying to find... I wanted to see the drone bays because this actually uses a mod to give, to actually do this, again, not really sure if it's sleeping or not, but the docking quarters, I suppose, for the Borg. And I thought that was a cool idea. I'm assuming they're just they're just changing the model for the medical bay, I would assume. Ah, here we go. Because... Wait, where did I go? Oh, I'm actually in there. Okay. Oh, it's probably a cryo chamber, actually. Okay. I was thinking the medical bay, because then you could change your colors and kind of do all that. But yeah, these are definitely cryo bay. That's pretty cool. I like it a lot. Also, I just kind of realized... Well, I'm kind of thinking there should be a bridge somewhere, right? Or do you... You can't fly it from the cryo bay, can you? Let's just keep going up. And I'm sure... Ah! Bridge! Speak of the devil. Alright, so that's gotta be the main bridge, or main flight seat. So let's give it a whirl. Also, a strange thing in my opinion, but if it was done for customizability and stuff like that, it makes sense. The description says that there actually is no weapons on board. Although they could be easily added. So I'm assuming that was left out for the purposes of letting players customize it themselves with weapons, if they wanted to use modded weapons or whatever. I just found it a little odd, considering the Borg were known for their destructive capabilities, essentially. And it's hard to tell because we can't see the thrusters, and it's essentially just a flying block. But I would say... Oh, okay, there's a sim speed component to this. So when I'm not using the thrusters, it's far more responsive to the gyroscope controls, but once you're firing the thrusters, then everything slows down, but that's not actually the ship turning slower, I don't believe. I believe that's actually the sim speed slowing down. Could be wrong. But overall, I would say it kind of moves like you'd expect a Borg cube. It turns okay, but it accelerates fairly slowly, because I don't think they were notably very fast or anything. But with that, we're going to wrap this one up, and let's move on to the last one. Okay, and before we get to the last one, I'm going to have to do my obligatory If you like this video and you want to see more like it, make sure that you're subscribed and click the bell notification so that you get notified when I post more videos like this. I usually try and do an inspiration episode every Tuesday if you're watching this and you're new. And if you are familiar with my channel, but you haven't, if you are subscribed and whatnot, but you haven't checked out my Discord page, be sure to do that, because I've been trying to gravitate a little bit more over towards Discord because, frankly, YouTube's comment section is getting a little too unruly for me to keep track of, and I can keep things a little bit more organized and keep track of things better on the Discord server. So I would encourage you to head on over there and check it out if you are interested in keeping up with all of the stuff and keeping interactions with the channel and the community and all that kind of stuff. So with that out of the way, we're gonna do, if I can find the ship, there it is. The last one is the Dometrius MKII. This is apparently, according to the description, loosely based on a Star Trek ship design, and I feel like it was kind of apparent when there's Star Trek weapon mods that were added to the ship, although you could just like lasers and phasers. So the other thing about that is that there are only a few mods on this, much like the Borg one from before, and the description does state that I don't believe that they're impacting on the function, so if you wanted to swap them out, it's probably doable, as well as the weapons, because if you took the weapons away, well, you wouldn't have weapons on the ship. But from my understanding, you could then add your own vanillas if you would prefer, so keep that in mind. It's not a total let's see, let's call it a mod lock. I don't know why, it just kind of came to me. It's not a mod lock ship, basically, where you have to do it or it just breaks. Alright, so I like the overall design of this ship, though. I think it's pretty cool. It's kind of got that arrowhead shape, which we've seen in a lot of ships, but rather than having like nacelles or pods on the side, it kind of has almost like a Ferengi, which may be the ship that was being referred to. I didn't recognize the name, but it's got almost like a Ferengi fin curve thing that comes out and goes forward instead of backward, which I think is really cool. I like that design a lot. I also like the glass bridge, although probably not the safest, but I do think this ship is running the shield mod, so you're probably fine. Without shields, though, if you're running it in vanilla, I don't know that I'd want a full glass, oops, sorry, bumped the mouse, a full glass bridge like that. And before you go, didn't you build a shooting star that kind of did that and had the... I did. So I'm speaking from experience that I'm not sure a fully exposed glass bridge is a great idea. So keep that in mind. Alright, so I'm guessing Shuttle Bay's the hangar. So this is cool. We've got a neat... I don't know how people do these. I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to figure out how to word that, but that's just what it is. I don't know how people do these. I've tried to do so many rotor door type things, and they always scrape and spark and cause all kinds of like issues. And then I feature these builds, and they work. They look so cool, and they just work really well. And I'm like, clearly doing something incorrectly. What that is, no idea. Probably block choice or displacement or something, I suppose, but I don't know. So we'll close that up. This is a great example, actually, of, like I mentioned before, of having things well lit and not blown out. Because with white blocks like this and then white lighting, it would be really easy to just overblown lighting. Like words are hard. It would be very easy to blow out the lighting is what I was trying to get at, and my words got all mixed up. And so I give credit to finding proper settings and everything where everything's well lit. You don't have a lot of dark spots, but at the same time you don't walk in and need sunglasses because it blinded you, kind of thing. So very, very well done on that on the settings, not stats. Anyway, one interesting thing too is it looks like this is using the silver. Is it silver or is it shiny? Something. It's very glossy. And that's kind of cool, actually, when combined with, like, the gold one and stuff here. Unless... I thought the silver texture was always gray, but perhaps I'm misremembering. Maybe it's just the color that you pick or something. Or there's more than one. Anyway, however it was done, the texturing was done very well because it kind of all matches, even though the coloring is different. So you still have a color palette, you've still got a different, you know, the contrasting colors and stuff so that it's not just all one solid color, but the texturing is all kind of the same, and so you get the same kind of material look, which I think is a really nice touch. It's very interesting. I'm also guessing that the blocks are actually probably color-coded to some degree. Red kind of seems more functional. Ooh, we actually have the transporters in here. That's cool. So, and I don't know what these are for. I think this is for, oh, it's for the transporter. Okay, transport jammer. Well, that's fun. That's cool. Didn't know we needed one of those. Okay, this I gotta talk about. Because this is very cool. It's using the windows, but I love this design. You got a very tall, thin, kind of almost like columns or slats kind of thing, but then it's, you know, the glass, so it seals the reactor in its own space, but you can still see it and stuff. I like that aesthetic a lot. I think that's really cool. It also makes the room look bigger when you just walk in and it's like, boom. I do think that's really cool. I like the ridge in the middle here. There's a lot of little things going on here, but I think it's really neat. And I like it. Also, it looks like it's using the new blocks. Yeah, that's one of the newer ones. I still have to get used to those. I keep forgetting they're there. But that's pretty common with me. I forget stuff that has been in the game since it launched, so... Alright, so that was kind of the engineering-ish room, I'm guessing, because that's kind of the reactor. Now we got the gyroscope, jump drive, probably maintenance. Looks like a storeroom. And then that comes back in over there. So we come back this way, and then this loops back around. Okay. One thing I'm curious about is kind of a where... Oh, probably here. Yeah, there it is. I was going to say, I know we go up at some point. Alright, so here we are in the bridge, which is cool. Again, not bad when you have the shield mod. I feel like in vanilla, if you took the shield mod off... I don't know, it would depend on the range. It would depend on the range of these weapons, but then again, if you took the shield mod off, you're probably doing vanilla anyway. Alright, so we have the torpedo launcher here, the rotor controls for the blast, or for the shuttle bay, or, well, shuttle bay blast door. Oh, I guess that's the ramp. I just figured that was a loading ramp, but that could actually be a blast door. Anyway, landing gears, jump drive, controls for the holo table, shuttle bay doors, hangar doors, and then I think that was the locking wait, no. Oh, that's landing gear. Okay. Let's see what the landing gear look like. I think I saw them up here. Maybe? Are they stuck? That definitely is them on the pistons. Right under there. But they don't seem to be moving very much. I'm wondering if they're stuck. Can I... Interesting. Anyway, we'll leave those where they are then. We see the ones on the back here that are just kind of stationary. Those two in the front were supposed to fold down, I'm assuming to meet the same height level, but not sure if they're like locked or if they're stuck or what, but we'll leave them be. We don't want to blow anything up at the moment. So let's try the phaser array. I believe is turrets, so I don't think I can manually fire those easily. But the torpedo we can. Oh, look at that! That's kind of cool. Movement, this is almost like a fighter movement. Not quite, but close. It accelerates almost like a fighter. And maneuverability is pretty darn good. So this would definitely be a dangerous ship to watch out for in a fight. Not to mention the phaser arrays, which let's actually see if we can fire those real quick just to get a look at them. We won't obviously be testing damage and whatnot, but I'm going to go in, see if I can find them, and we're just going to throw them all in a group real quick, and then I'm going to add them to the bar and just do a shoot once. Isn't there a shoot once? Maybe not. Well, I guess we'll just toggle them. Okay. So, I don't like that that reticle is targeting, like, me. That's not comforting. Wait, where did that come from, anyway? I don't know where that came from. I don't remember seeing it. If you guys saw it, let me know if you know what it is. But we're gonna try and point that way. Well, that's fun. I guess it's targeting the phasers? Or is it just firing both sides? Oh, jeez. Never mind. Glass bridge is fine. I mean, that's kind of cool. Not gonna lie. Alright, anyways, we're gonna wrap things up here for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.